Hi, this is Jason Epp with PTCI, and we want to welcome anybody out there to our streaming workshop. Remember that at any time, whether you're watching it on Facebook Live or our live stream on YouTube, feel free to put any comments down if you've got questions or anything, and we'll try to handle them over here as soon as we see them. And other than that, we'll go ahead and just start explaining what streaming TV is and what some of your options are. We have kind of reached the end point for PTCI TV as June 30th, here at the end of this month, we will end TV service for good. And the streaming options that are available to you can save you a lot of money. And so that's why we're showing them to you. If going to satellite works better for you, we don't have any problem with that, but one of the complaints was costs continuing to go up, and this is a way that you can save quite a bit of money. When we're talking about streaming TV, what that is very basically is just watching video over your internet connection. And with PTCI's Fiber to the Home project and also the Rural Surge that is taking place not only in our towns but out in the country, you have a good internet connection where you can stream TV. And like I said, streaming TV, you may have used that if you've ever used YouTube or used Netflix or Amazon Prime. Those are just simply streaming services where you're watching it over your internet connection. So some of you may have already used it and maybe just didn't realize it. There are several ways that you can do it. You kind of have to, over a TV, you have to have some kind of item that allows you to have access to those services. There are several different. The one we're going to be using today and we use with our workshops is called a Roku TV. Roku is a streaming device maker. They make these TVs where the technology is built into it. You don't have to go out and buy a brand new TV though. They do sell what they call Roku sticks, which they plug into an HDMI plug. And just to show you, we've got one of these Roku sticks right here. And on the end of it, it just has just an HDMI plug. If you've got a flat screen TV, it's going to have 1, 2, maybe 3 of these HDMI plugs in the back of it. The only other parts it has on it is on the back. It does need electricity, so it plugs into there. And it's got a USB plug on the other end of it. Most flat screen TVs have a USB plug that you can plug directly back into the TV. So basically both items are in the TV so that you can use that for your electricity. Or if you've got a floor unit, maybe it's sitting on top of a table instead of hanging off of the wall, it does come with a little wall plug piece that you just plug this into, just like maybe if you're charging a smartphone, that kind of thing. So that's what you can use. Roku's one of the major providers of this. There's also Amazon Fire Stick. They also have an Amazon Fire TV that is made by Samsung. Also out there, there's Google Chromecast and also Apple TV. These products, these are a one-time purchase. When you buy something like that Roku TV or the Roku Stick or any of those others I mentioned, you're going to buy that. That's going to be a one-time purchasing fee. It's not going to be a monthly fee for anything like that. But what it does, and by the way, the Roku TV and the Roku Stick, if I plug this into the back of this TV, it would bring up a screen that would look exactly the same. They have the same technology. The only thing difference is with the TV, it's just built into the back of the TV instead of having to use a stick to make it come up. And what you'll notice, we've got it on the home screen right here, is it's kind of like a smartphone. You've got apps here. And some of these apps that we're going to show you today are some of the cable replacements, okay? These 3 across the top, these are ones that we'll kind of focus on because they're ones that have local channels available on them, and that seems to matter. I will go ahead and tell you that those local channels, the way this works is just like your house has a physical address, your internet connection has an address too. So because it ties your TV service to your location, you're going to get Amarillo stations. You're not going to be able to get Oklahoma City. The only reason that PTCI was able to offer that was because Laverne was in our coverage area, and since Laverne is outside of the Oklahoma Panhandle, it's actually part of the Oklahoma City coverage area. So people in Laverne, they'll still be able to get that, but as far as the Oklahoma Panhandle, you'll get Amarillo stations. Now, with News On and news9.com, we'll show you how you can get just about every Oklahoma City channel's news. So we'll get to that a little later as well. Also, we'll show you this one, Sling, and also some workarounds with some of the sporting events and also some of the free content that is out there as well that you don't have to pay a monthly fee for. The first one we're going to look over today is YouTube TV. Now, YouTube TV is different than just YouTube. YouTube is a place where anybody can post videos and things like that. When PTCI, like we're live streaming this on our YouTube channel, that's on YouTube, and that's separate from YouTube TV. YouTube TV is a monthly cable replacement service that you can pay for. Okay, you'll notice after I highlighted and brought it up, this is what their home screen, how it looks. Right behind it, you see above it, not highlighted, says NBA The Jump. That means you can kind of see that there's a show playing behind this right now, and that shows whatever's on. If I wanted to go to that, I simply highlight it and hit the OK button. And before I go any further, I'll just show you this Roku remote here, okay? You'll notice you probably haven't had a remote with that few of buttons in quite a while. These main ones is you've got your volume up and down and your mute on the side, okay? You've got this home button. It looks like a little house. That takes you back to this home page. You've got this, or actually it takes you back not to the home page here, but that home page that we were at before. A back arrow, whatever was the previous screen, it will take you back. And then these 4 arrows and an OK button. Those are the ones you're going to use the most. It does have a pause, a fast forward, and a backwards as well, and also a little star button that does some different things as well depending on the app that you're in. But on the home screen, the first thing it will do is right across here it says Top Picks for You, and it kind of looks at the things that have been watched on this TV, and it'll do the same for you. It'll kind of learns what you watch, and it will offer them up right there. Also below that, it has a list of different genres. Whether comedies, you want to look up movies, sitcoms, basketball, and it will have different ones up there depending on what you watch. Also, when you first start YouTube TV, one of the neat things about it is you'll see an early line in one of these as we go down through this that has how-to videos to help you get set up with your YouTube TV and how it works. Just below that, now right now, they've got a line for HBO Max and Cinemax, which they actually have a free trial going on. So sometimes you'll see some of the premium channels that are available through this service. There are several services that are available through YouTube TV, like HBO. Also, Stars is available on there for an additional fee, and several others as well. If we go down another line, it says resume watching. So let's say there's a show you were watching and you got interrupted, weren't able to finish it. You can go right here and go back to it, and it'll start right back up in the middle of the show wherever you cut it off. So that's a nice little feature with it. Gives you suggestions for shows you may want to add to your library. Then it breaks down other categories, just shows, sports, family, and so on. You can also look up all kinds of movies that are available. And what you'll see here is a lot of content that's not only have you recorded, but some of it you can set up recordings, and also some of it's available on demand, which means you can watch it at any time. Kind of the difference between on demand and recording is on demand I can watch it now, whereas recording I have to wait till it actually is shown on its scheduled time. But I can also fast forward through the commercials when I record it, whereas if you're on demand, most of the time you go ahead and have to sit through the commercials. Like I said, there's other categories down here, news and top news stories and things like that. And then I can go back up here to the top, and we'll go over here to live. Live is going to be our traditional guide, okay? This is showing what's on right now. This has got the 2 p.m. block, 3 p.m., and you can go out further. Also, you'll see the list of channels over here on the far left. One thing you'll notice that's different from your TV right now is you just see the logos there. You're not going to see you're not going to turn to channel 372 anymore or 485. They're not going to have channel numbers. They're just going to list the channels, and they're going to be by their logos is what they'll have. Now, YouTube TV does one thing that's very unique and very helpful, that some of the others have some variations on this, but theirs is a little different. If you go on to your tablet or your phone, or you go on to your computer, if you put in your account information, which you'll have an email, and then you'll also have a password, you put those things in, you can actually move these channels around to where they're set up exactly as you want. So let's say there's 7 channels that you watch most of the time. Well, you can put those at the top of your list, and then you can even delete channels that you don't want anybody to watch. Maybe you feel like this channel has inappropriate content and you don't ever watch it, so you don't want it on. You can literally delete it. But you can put the top 7, you can put those at the top, you can put the channels you watch occasionally in the middle, and those that you hardly ever watch you can put at the bottom. So you can actually set up this guide any way you want. And if there's 4 channels that you watch pretty much all the time, you don't even really have to scroll through your screen at all either. So, and just to show you how this works, let me move my arrow down onto it. I put it on this show. You can see it's highlighted right now. It says there's 47 minutes left, what time it started, okay? It also shows the rating for the show as well. And all I have to do, if I want to go to one of these channels, let's say I want to watch this Let's Make a Deal, I've highlighted it, I click OK, and it will take me to that channel. And there it is. We're right on that show, just like that. Now if I hit the back button, it'll take me back to this screen. Now if I want to record something, let's say I go out here a little time to this evening. Let's say I want to tape this Daytime Jeopardy that's on at 4:30. Okay, I've got it highlighted. I hit OK, and it brings up this little screen down here. Tells me a little about it. It's got back highlighted. I move up to more info, and then it brings this up, and it shows me that we've got some of those episodes set to. If you'll look right here, you can see where it says Add to Library. If I can move it up here, and if I hit OK, you'll notice that the plus sign turned into a check mark, and it says this show was added to my library and that will record upcoming episodes. I can also look ahead on here to when it's scheduled to play different times. Of course, this is on same time every day, but other items out there aren't always on at the exact same time, especially if you're talking about sports teams and things like that. There's other information about it as well below. We'll go back out, and that sets that timer, and we'll look at that here in a little bit. I hit the back arrow a couple of times, and now I'm back right here. Now we'll go over to Library. Library is where we're going to see our recordings, things like that. You remember it says new, it's on new to your library. Look, Daytime Jeopardy, that was the one that we put up, and there it is already. And if we click down here, we've got a list of shows that are most watched that we've got recorded, schedules, what's coming up. This is shows what's recording right now, and then shows that are set to record later in the day. And if we go out here, here's the one we were talking about. Daytime Jeopardy is set up to go. So it's really that simple to set up a recording on YouTube TV. It also breaks it down by different categories. You can go to shows. You can have a stash of recorded movies here as well. You can put your favorite sports teams and go in here. Like, you know what's unique about baseball and basketball is during the regular season, those games aren't always played on the exact same channels, or college football. And so you can go there and find out what time the Thunder are going to play, or the Texas Rangers, or whoever your team is. You can find out when they're going to play, but it also will show you what channel it's going to be on. And also, you can just go to here. You can go to this icon on sports in your library, and you can go to the game from there. You don't have to go into your guide to try to find that if that is a struggle for you. It also has a list for events, which includes sporting events, but there's also other special TV programs and things like that. Like you think of the awards programs like the Emmys or Golden Globes and things like that. Or if there's a special concert, if you recorded those would be in these events as well. Now if we go back up top, what you also have over here is, if we go one over, this magnifying glass, okay? That is your search button. With the search, like they've got the example up there, action movies, you could put that in. You can put the title of a movie if you're trying to find something specific. Or let's say, well, like just the other day, I was reminded of John Candy, and so I wanted to see what John Candy movies were available. I could put his name in, and if there's any movies that are available that are either coming up on TV or available on demand, it will show them right over here on this column right here. And the last thing on here, this is your profile. This little, supposed to be a little human icon there. If I click on it, I've got account information here. I've got settings here for billing. Like if I go to this one that says billing, just to show you, it shows me the payment method. It shows me the next time that I will be charged for it, and also how much the amount is. And you'll notice YouTube TV, even after tax, is less than $55. And you're getting 70 plus channels for that. Now, if you want some of the premium content, like we mentioned with HBO and things like that, you're going to have to pay more for that. But those things are available. One of the great things about streaming too that I want to go ahead and mention is just that you don't have to make a long-term commitment, okay? This is month to month. Most of these services, they're going to give you a week free, and then you're going to be able to pay month to month. And if you decide after a month, you've decided you're going to give it a try, but after a month you say, I really don't like this, well, you can go ahead and cancel it. You don't have to just stay with it for 2 years or something like that. They do allow you to get out of it because there's no contracts with it. So it's good. It's a good that way. Also do want to show you on here, they do have something called filter. We've got it off on here, but if you turn it on, it will allow everything up from PG and below to come on. But if it's a rating like rated R or TVMA, it's going to block it. Now, you can still watch that content, but what you do is you have to set up a digital code, like a 4-digit code, to get into that. So if you're worried about kids seeing something that you don't want them to see, you can actually block those with higher ratings on it. And so they would have, as long as you keep the code from them, they're not going to be able to get into that. It does have some other information if you want to look at privacy information and things like that. But that's the basic things. As your billing is available there, you can see what it charged and what day it's coming out, and also the filter is available there. One of the things that's unique about YouTube TV, like we mentioned, it does have all the local channels. But one of the things that is different unique from the others is if we go over here to the guide at live, is you see NBC, ABC. Now it's got the local ABC. It also has ABC News, which is just a national feed, CBS and Fox. But right below that, you'll see PBS. As of right now, PBS is only available through YouTube TV. And if we go over here, you can see the call letters. It's got OETA and also PPBS, which is, I believe, Panhandle Public Broadcasting. But I know a lot of people ask about OETA, and yes, it is available on this one. So if PBS is important to you, YouTube TV is one you're going to have to look at very strongly because right now it is the only one that has it. We look over, want to look at the computer real quick just to make sure. Doesn't look like there's any questions of yet. If you are out there and you do have some questions, please go ahead and feel free to type them in, and we'll try to get to those. Well, I don't see anything right now, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. This is AT&T TV. And all of these have a basic look, but they're going to be just a little bit different from one to the other. When AT&T TV now comes up, it automatically goes to the last channel that you had it on. If I hit the down arrow on my remote, it brings up this little menu here, and I move over here to guide, and this is where I've got I hit the down again to move down to it. You'll notice across here, time across the top, channels over here on the left column. Now, one thing that is different here is how you move them around. As you'll notice, a couple of the hearts right here are kind of filled in pink, where these are empty. The empty hearts, so sad. But it allows you to make a favorites menu, is what it does with that. If you move over here, if we move over to the left all the way, you'll notice that we're on channels. We've got the guide set on all, but if we move it down to favorites and click on that, you'll notice all these with the pink hearts on them move up there to the top. And that's all you're going to see on your menu. It doesn't allow you to put them in an exact order, but you can put, whatever channels you watch the most, you can mark them with the pink heart, and they're going to be the ones at the top of that. So that's a way you can set it up the way you like. Now we put it back here on all. If I go out here, and recording on here is very easy as well. And just moving it through. We get up here, we see DuckTales, and we want to record that. If I click OK on it, it's going to bring up this little screen, tell me a little bit about this episode. It tells me it's Season 1, Episode 16. Okay, it's got record underlined right there. If I want to add it, recording set. And I can click over to record series if I want as well. Now you'll see it says cancel recording, and that's highlighted, and I can quickly take that back off just like that. I'll go back in, I'll record it again and go over here. I can record the series. I hit OK on that. So it will record now all episodes, or I can set it up to record just the new episodes. We'll click back out. I'm just going to cancel that again. But that's how easy it is to add or remove a recording. Also, we will show you back over here on the menu. You can break it down by categories. Like if I click it on movies, it'll show me the movies that are on right now. Just shows me basically a guide with only movies on. TV shows, sports, and kids programming as well. If we go back to this main menu, just hitting the back button, I can go to Watch Now, and this is really just a different way to have a guide. It shows me what's on, but it's a little more like Hulu is or anything like that, so it's not the traditional guide. Shows me things that you can continue to watch, trending shows. Like we said, HBO Max has a special going on, so it's got a lot of their content mentioned right here as well. Premium movies, featured TV. This line is things that are new this month, so just all kinds of categories. The next one, kids, so you can look through Watch Now for any of those kind of categories. My Library, these are things that we've set recordings for, and we do have recordings of, okay? You can also set bookmarks for shows so that maybe there's a programming that comes on and then it disappears for a while and then comes back. The bookmark will make sure that when it does come back, that you know about it and can watch it. There's also Discover, which this is really the on-demand content. You can look at it by networks. We click on that. It's got the premium channels here at the top, and then it's got the rest of the channels here just in alphabetical order. And I can click on here like on AMC, and it shows me different TV shows that are on there and also movies that are available on that channel. And this is really where you can see them even on demand. So if AMC, you typically like the movies that they show on there, this might be a quick place that you can go and look and see. Without looking through all the movies that are available, you can look at it that way. You can also go to this movies category and it'll break it down. Like we said, there's some HBO that's going on right now with the special, and then featured action, featured drama, featured family, comedy, horror movies. So it breaks it down by categories here, and you can watch those on demand. You can also go to the TV shows, and it's got it broken down by categories here. And the first one at the top is just what we're watching here. But it's also got outdoor and travel, home and kitchen, history and science, docuseries, drama TV, crime and action TV, and Latino content as well. And then it's got other genres down there at the bottom. So this is just on-demand content. If we go down here, you do see these AT&T TV tips. This is actually with their device. It would be if you bought their device. And you can see in the picture that that device has a lot more buttons to deal with too. So it may not be quite as simple to use. Of course, we've never went out and got one, so maybe it's not as bad as I might be saying. So you can get one directly from them that way as well, and it comes with a little box too. And then it's just got the same thing here, many different categories and things like that on Discover. If we go over here, once again, we've got the little magnifying glass here, and we can go in here, put movies, TV shows, keywords, and we can look up. We've got some of the content, like look, we got Tom Hanks right here, and it'll bring up, well, the first one there says Tom Segura, so it wouldn't directly be Tom Hanks, but you can see over here, here's a couple of movies that are available that he did, and that's under the all category. You could look up kids programming, movies, TV shows, and sports. So you can break it down into a tighter level there as well. but you can look up by genre, you can look up by actor or actress or anything like that. Then we'll go over here to the settings button. It looks like a little gear. We can go in here and look at our preferences. We've got parental controls here. We do have those off, but once again, you can set the ratings to block like rated R movies or TVMA, and it's going to have you set up a 4-digit code there as well. You've got your captioning for closed captioning. You can have it on all the time, on replay only, or when you have it on mute. One of the channels that is unique to AT&T TV now that we do get asked about, it seems like at a lot of our streaming workshops, is RFD TV. This is the only streaming workshop that we've seen, or streaming service that we've seen that does have that. So if RFD TV is a deal breaker for you, you may need to look at it. We'll go down here and you can kind of see the guide. And what you're going to need to do, and Emmanuel, if you can bring that up for us on there, you can look on these websites that we've got. We've got a list of websites we'll put up here for these channels. And you can see what you'll want to do is go to these websites, and they'll tell you exactly what channels each of these services has. Okay, these are kind of the major players in it. There are some others out there, but these are the bigger ones. And so you may want to write those down, but they'll tell you exactly what channels that they have. And the reason we never put it in any of our brochures that we had is because it does change from time to time. So in fact, right now, with as new as this service is, just a couple years old, really it does change quite a bit. So you can look here. There's also a couple of websites you may want to look up. You can put the channels that matter the most to you, and it can give you some good options for which service might work best for you, and that is right here, thestreamable.com and suppose.tv. And what you can do is, like I said, you go there, put 5 or 6 channels or 15, whatever channels you watch, you can put in there, and it will give you some different streaming options that might work for you. Now, if you had 15 channels and it's got one that's got all 15, it's going to show you that, and it's going to show you the price. It'll also show you some that maybe there's one that has 13 of them, of the 15, but it's $20 less a month. It's because it fits in to a different tier, just like your cable service had, 3 different tiers. This has different tiers as well. So you may have to think about, well, do those 2 channels matter to me enough that I've got to pay that extra $20 a month to be in that higher tier, or am I okay letting those go? But thestreamable.com and suppose.tv, both of those, visit those. You can see which service might work very well for you. Now going back to AT&T TV, I mentioned like the free channels right now. Like right now, HBO's got a free time going on, so you can see those channels are already listed in the All Guide. But I was going to show you, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of people, since we live in rural America, there it is. RFD TV is available on AT&T TV now. So, like we said, if that's something important to you, that'll be one of them you'll definitely want to look up, see if it works for you. And by the way, all of these that have the local channels, they're all relatively close in range. They're going to be anywhere from YouTube TV is, just shy of 55, and I think AT&T TV is a little more like 65. But this one, that one, and also Hulu with live TV, which we'll look at next. All three of those are in that 55, basically 55 to 65 range on their cost. As we mentioned, Hulu with live TV also has local channels. Now, I do want to mention this. I mentioned a little bit about YouTube TV. Some people say, do I have to go get this device or do I have to get one of those TVs? Like I said, if you've got a flat screen TV, it's going to work fine, but you do have to buy one of these devices. I know when people think they get a smart TV that it's going to have these cable replacement apps, because you see Hulu up there and you go, well, my TV's got Hulu on it and it's got YouTube. Well, Hulu with live TV and Hulu are two different things. Same company, but different product. YouTube and YouTube TV, same company, two different products. So unless you buy a brand new smart TV and you have looked at it and made sure that it has those cable replacement apps, you're going to have to buy one of these access items like a Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, or Google Chromecast to get into it. Now, you could do it on a laptop or a tablet, but as far as a TV, you're going to have one of these devices to be able to get into it. I will also mention Roku does have another device that if you've got an older TV that doesn't have an HDMI plug in it, if it's got the RCA plugs, which sometimes they're called audio-visual, but it's the red, yellow, and white plugs, those three plugs. If your TV has that, Roku actually has an item called a Roku Express Plus. That's Roku Express Plus. And you can get one of those and actually plug it in to your older TV. Now, of course, you're not going to get HDMI quality broadcast over that, but you can actually use a TV with a big back end on it still for that if you get the right kind of Roku stick. Okay, this is Hulu with live TV. When it first comes up, it comes up with this home screen. And you'll notice the little home icon up there is highlighted. And also right now what's highlighted is Live Now, okay? And it's listed shows that are on live right now that when you first set it up, it kind of asks you some questions. The first time you set it up, you'll set it up on your computer and it's going to ask you some questions about what are the shows you watch? What are the kind of things you like to watch? And so it'll show different things here that are listed that would fit into these categories in this column. It's also got TV for You, okay, and a list of shows on it. Movies for You, so these are different movies that are available either live or mostly on demand at this point. Keep Watching, this is like on the others where you've started to watch something, you can actually resume it right where you left off. Unwatched in My Stuff, and My Stuff is basically things that have been recorded and now they're just sitting there waiting to be watched. Hulu Picks, it is going to be a mix of other programs like this Grant from the History Channel, but it'll also have Hulu originals in it as well. They do have some original programming. Blockbuster movies that are available. Sports. News. Hulu original programming, like we said, they've got all kinds of different movies and series that are available that is all original content to Hulu with either Hulu or Hulu with live TV. You can't get these on any of the other services. FX on Hulu. My Channels, and it just lists the channels that maybe we lined up as our favorites. Okay? So you can look through those that way. It's also got kids category, HBO Max. You think you have to sign up on this one because I don't think they have the free one going on it right now, but those switch around from time to time. And then other categories as well, like newly added shows, movies, and other things too. Now, if we click up here to the top and we move over from home where we've got it highlighted to live TV, okay, that's going to take us back to the last program that we had it on, okay? Now, if I push the down arrow, it brings me to my live TV guide, okay? Once again, time across the top, channels down the side, okay? You'll notice the little green line tells you where it is in the show, which is helpful, like, especially if you're getting over here and, if that green line's about right here, I don't want to be looking on this side to see what's on. I want to be seeing what's coming up next, since it might be 2 or 3 minutes from being over. It's got the little green line right here, and then the blue line highlighting. This is highlighting what channel you've got it on. This is highlighting what show you've got highlighted at the time. Once again, you can move out here. If I want to tape this movie, Deepwater Horizon, click on the OK on it, and I can go here to record, okay? And it's going to set to record then. I can also find out other details about it, but that is how you set up a recording that way. And when you do come back here, you'll see the little red circle filled in. That means it's actually recording right now, because that looks like that movie. Well, no, that wouldn't have started yet, but that means it's going to record when it does get to that show. Once again, very easy to move through this guide. You can move days ahead even that way. So you can also, the guide is on all. You can set it up for recent channels. These are channels that have been looked at, watched recently. You can set up just a guide on my channels of just your favorite channels, okay? You can set up, it's showing you what sporting events are on sports, news, show your different news there, movies that are on right now, and also kids programming. And we'll click back out of that. Now I can move over to what's listed as my stuff. So these are things that have been recorded, okay? It even tells me here on these 30 for 30 documentaries, 7 have been unwatched, 1 of this program, 93 of that's obviously in rerun. But I can go in here. Let's say we go to this blind spot, since it's got so many. I can go down here to episodes, and I can click on season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. And then I can click down here, and it's got them listed in order. Season 5, episode 1. I can go down here to episode 4 that aired on June 4th, 2020. So I can do the most recent, or I can click back out here, go to season 1, episode 1, and watch it, and watch from the very beginning, okay? It also has what's scheduled to run. Shows season 5, episode 5 airs June 11th at 8 p.m. and then also episode 6. It's got a list of my episodes, shows that you, because you like that one, you might also like as well. And then over here on extras, you can see where maybe they've got some interviews and things like that that they've got as well. You can remove it rather easily as well. I've added it to my stuff just by hitting that button. I can remove it by going over here too as well. Just go ahead and do that, and we'll leave it the way it is. Okay, and it's also here on my stuff. You know, it's got it broken down by categories. It's got the movies that have been recorded, sporting events that have been recorded. You know, like we said, we've got the Thunder mentioned as a team, so it's got some of those games before. Obviously, looks like these are some of the replay games that they're replaying on here. This is one of them that right now too people may want to look at. You'll notice it says FS Oklahoma. Hulu with Live TV is one of the few that is does not have an active contract dispute with their provider right now. So let's say it's Thunder basketball season. Every game would be that's on TV would be available on here because of that. And you can see we've got some teams listed there, and you can go in here. I can remove it from my stuff. I can go down here, and it's going to list those games. More from this league, other live sports. So it's got other ways you can look at it. You know, if you're a big NBA guy, that's a way to go. If it's baseball season and they're bouncing around with what channels and, you know, what days they play, it's an easy way to do that. You can also manage your DVR. Now, you know, like with YouTube TV, your DVR, which is your recordings, is unlimited, whereas on here it's limited, and you can see it says there's 34.5 hours available. Now, we will say this, a lot of people actually don't record as much because so much is available on demand, but it is easy to delete it. Like I can go over here and you can see where I've highlighted delete on this. It'll ask me again to make sure, yes, I want to delete that. So that's gone from the library. Now I can delete this one as well, and it's gone. So it's that simple to add or delete programming from your DVR. It'll also show here expiring. There's nothing that's listed to expire. Now, from what I've seen, it's usually more than 6 months before anything is going to expire anyway. So even if you record something and don't watch it for quite a while, but if you do record and then don't get around to watching it, it can expire it. You can also look through it by channel here. We can go to FS1 and it lists the show that's on right here. That's what's on live right now, and then upcoming programming on that particular channel. Now we'll move over to browse. I can look at it through networks, and it's showing me what's on different channels right now. Okay, just a different way to look at the guide. It breaks it down by categories as well: entertainment, sports, kids, news. On demand only is something that is unique. This is programming that isn't necessarily going to be on their channel. This is stuff that's just available on demand, but there's a lot of shows that are available here, and also sometimes there's unique interviews and things like that as well. Popular programming, then also you can just list them A to Z on there as well. And then also you can list the networks from A to Z as well here. It breaks it down by TV shows. And then you can break it down further. What's on live TV right now? What's new through new episodes? Hulu originals. Newly added shows based on books, but you can find different categories that fit you. You know, if you're somebody who loves to watch HGTV, different programming, maybe you can find some other channels that have some shows. If you're a big home and cooking person, you can find a lot of the same programming right there. So all kinds of different categories for you there. that you can look through. You can also browse for movies here as well, as we showed earlier. There's Hulu Originals, FX on Hulu, Kids, Sports, and then other genres. If we go down to that, it'll show you that. It breaks it down by categories. Okay? And there's tons of them there. Now we'll back out and go back up top. That's browse. Now we'll go over to search. And search here, you've got a couple things listed. You've got over on the left, of course, where you can put in, just like on the others, you can put in the name of an actor or an actress. You can put in a genre of movies or TV shows that you like. You can start to put the name of a TV show. Maybe you don't remember the whole name, but maybe you mention, a word or two from it. You can put it in there and it's going to populate over the right. And while there's nothing there, it does have trending searches, so different shows that people have been looking up using a Hulu with Live programming. Then also the profile settings is the last item over here. Okay, you can set up new profiles, or I can go in and edit my own. I've got the settings here. You can set it up to autoplay, which means like if you're watching on demand, when it finishes an episode, it'll start another one of the same show till it runs out. Stop live TV when it's inactive. We've got that on as well. If you want to look at your account, you will have to go to hulu.com/account. About the device, the privacy policy and things like that, I think that's all online as well. It does tell you to go to hulu.com for that. But that is how you use Hulu with Live TV. We'll check again here. Don't see that anybody has typed out any questions of any right now. Like I said, if you do have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and type those in the comment sections, and we'll be more than happy to try to help you out and try to answer those questions. I'll hit the home button to bring us back to our Roku guide. Okay. Before we go on to Sling, I do want to show you where you can get news out of Oklahoma City. Okay. This app right here called News On, it's available on 2 services. It's available on Roku, and it's also available on Apple TV. It is now not as of yet available on Amazon Fire or Google Chromecast. But this is a service where not only can you see news out of Oklahoma City, but you can literally see it from just about anywhere in the country. All 50 states have channels on here. Now, this is just going to be local news. That's all you're going to see. Okay? When it's on live, you'll see it live. When it's not on live, you'll see the most recent newscast. First thing that comes up is you'll see we are in the Amarillo area, so it brings up the Amarillo stations first. And you can see News Channel 10 News at Noon is the first one that's listed. You can also move over here, Amarillo Midday News on KVII, Lawton, Oklahoma, Colorado Springs. Here's one of the Oklahoma City channels, 25. That was 11 this morning. And also KOCO is available on here, Channel 5. The weekday morning episode, we can click on that. That was their most recent newscast. When you first click on one of these, you're going to see an ad come up almost all the time. And that's how they make this app free. There's no charge for it, but they do have some commercials from time to time to pay their own bills. That's why they do it. Now, I have had it come up a couple of times where it went directly to the news, and then the news, there was one of those times where it interrupted the news for a commercial. But when it came back about 5 to 10 seconds, or 3 to 5 seconds back in what I had already seen. So I didn't miss anything. It was just a little bit behind. So you can watch the news from Oklahoma City this way. Like we said, this is from this morning, since they don't have a new newscast on Channel 5. So this was earlier this morning. We click back out. You can actually set up favorites as well. And we'll go back into the KOCO. And if this was live, you would see right over here, you can see where it says previous newscast is what it's supposed to say. Right here, you'd see a red box that said live in the middle of it. If I want to set it up as a favorite, I just go over here now. Obviously, I've already got it set up, so it says remove from favorites. I've taken it off. I can add it back on just like that. So very simple to add and remove as a favorite. When you do have it on this as a favorite this way, you can go back and look at previous newscasts. Excuse me. You can see this is the 6 to 7 a.m., the 5 to 6 a.m., 4:30 to 5 a.m., and then the news from last night even, the 10 to 11 p.m. Sunday newscast. If I go down here, it's got them listed by categories. So if there's maybe I had a relative who said, hey, I'm going to be on the news, and there was a certain clip, you can actually go back and watch that clip if they make it available. And then below that, it does have a list of other nearby stations. Okay. Now, if we go back up top, we're on home, then it's got a category for breaking news. And I can go into any of those. It's got it listed on what channel. Several of the channels out of Minneapolis, Atlanta, Dallas are all listed right now. I can also go over here to all stations. Okay? Closest stations are listed at the top. But I can go down here, and every state and the District of Columbia are listed here. So let's say there's a hurricane headed for Louisiana, and I want to see what the news is saying down there. Here's a station in Alexandria, one in Baton Rouge, one in Lafayette, and one at Lake Charles, and one in Monroe, and then 3 in New Orleans, as well as one in Shreveport. So if it was headed for New Orleans, I could click on this channel and go right into there. And if there's live news on, they'll show it right there. If it's not, they'll show their most recent newscast. Now, one of the other things is what we're seeing right here is they are the commercials for News On and the commercials for that actual station are not the same. So this means that WDSU is actually in a commercial break right now, so you'll see kind of a screensaver like that. But after the commercial's over, their commercial break is over, it'll go right back into their news. So wherever you've got family all over the country, if you want to see what's going on there, you can turn on the news on News On. And as we mentioned, that is a free app. We will also show you here News Channel 9 out of Oklahoma City is not included, but they do have their own app, okay, where you can go and watch the news as well. And you can also look here by categories. Live available right now. Tells you what is that they're showing right now. You can also go down here to, by the way, if you want this to go to full screen, you simply click and you see I've highlighted it. I can click and it'll go to the highlight. Now I back out and I can go back here. I can go to news and you'll see different clips down right here. I can go into crime, same thing, sports, the newscast, and it'll show those throughout the day, the 6 a.m., the 10 p.m., and so on. Different specials that they have. And that's about it. You'll notice they keep their weather up there at the top as well. So really Channel 4 out of Oklahoma City is the only one that isn't available. The NBC affiliate, well, I guess the CBS affiliate isn't available either. But Channel 9 and also Channel 5 and 25 are all available from Oklahoma City. Sling TV. Now, with some of these others that we're going to show you Sling, we're not going to show you Philo or Fubo TV. They don't have the local channels, but you oftentimes can get them a little bit cheaper because of that too. So it may be an option. We will mention that some of those, like if you don't care about live sports and you don't care about, if you don't care about the networks and you don't care about sports, Philo is a good option for you because you get about 55 channels. And I believe it costs right around $25 a month. But you're not, like I said, if you want the local channels, you're not going to get those on there, and you're not going to get sporting events either, channels with those. So it's going to fit into a pretty specific genre for most houses. And, Sling, one of the reasons it doesn't is they figure you can get an HD antenna. Of course, they're not thinking of people who live like we do in the very rural parts of America, where out here you really have to have like a 150-mile radius antenna to be able to get those channels. So this isn't always a viable option for anybody. But in case it is something you want, when Sling comes up, it comes up on My TV. It'll have a list of shows that you've watched or channels that you normally watch there. And it shows, this first row shows the live programming on those shows right now. Just below that, it shows the things that have been recording. This is your DVR listing here. Continue watching. These are shows that have started to watch and then turned off. Shows that you can list shows as a favorite. And then also has down here trending live, which right now is a lot of news programming that's on right now at this part of the day that's there as well. And then also some other categories like recommended for you, popular shows, and hit movies as well right here that you can look through and see if you're a movie buff, you can look through there and see what you want to watch. You can also go to On Now. Okay, this is just kind of a different way of looking at your guide. It has it broken down by categories: news, sports, kids, and so on. You can look through there and it's going to show you whatever programming fits into those categories. Now we go over to guide. This is your traditional guide. Once again, time across the top, channels down the side. Sling also has the little hearts to fill in over there. If you want to set a channel as your favorite, you move over there and highlight that. To record, once again, if I click over here, you'll notice that the only thing you can do, it's on record. I can either back up or I can hit OK. If I hit OK, it tells me it's scheduled to record. If I go back out, there you'll see the little circle there. Now when that show is on live and recording and you turn on your guide, the little circle will go from white to red. So that's how easy it is to set up a recording. You can also, if you click up here, this is called grid. You can look at it through channel. And you can go down here and let's say I like the programming on FX or something. You can look and it tells you what's on right now and then also what's coming up later in the day. Below that, it shows you on-demand content. As we mentioned, you can watch TV shows or movies when it's convenient for you, but you may have to sit through the commercials to do that. Hit the back button a couple of times. We're back up here. Hit the up button, go back to the grid. Now we can go over here we've got it listed under all channels. If I put it on my channels, okay, then back out, you'll notice all the red-hearted channels, you know, that we've got. So this is just I can set up my guide where I just have my favorite channels on it, on my channels. You can also break it down by category here, entertainment, and it'll show entertainment that fits, just the channels that fit into that. I can go to news or sports or movies. Look at news right here. So different news programming. If I'm a news buff, there's all kinds of stuff available there that way. We'll put it back on all channels, but there's all kinds of different categories that you can do it with there as well. They also have a tab just for sporting events that are going on. Of course, with the way we've been lately, there's not a ton of that going on, but there are a few items that you can still go to there. Also, it has a tab for your on-demand content. So any kind of movies or TV shows that you want to watch, it's got them broken down by categories. Last night's episodes, there were shows that maybe you watched but you weren't home for some reason. You can go back and watch them. Popular shows. And then sometimes they'll have timely things like this one says social distancing. So maybe movies and things like that that fit into that category. They've got that, got those listed together. Different things, you know, screwball comedies, hit movies, family movies, and things like that. So that's where all your on-demand content can be found in one area. Now, Sling TV has one thing that a lot of these others don't, which is they do have a rental service that you can rent recently released movies on here. You can also rent different boxing events and professional wrestling events that are available on here as well to rent. And it's one of the few services that has any of that. Which recently that's kind of been a big deal because there have been some movies that would have been released in a theater that have been released through services like this instead. You've got your search button again. Once again, you can put in any kind of show, movie, channel, an actor or actress. You can even put in the name of a type of genre or anything, and it's going to populate over here to the right the different things that you're searching for. The gear, once again, it shows us our different profile information and things like that. They were really the first with the parental controls, and you can really set them up any way you'd like. It's got marked unrated, not rated, R, NC-17, TVMA, and also, since we mentioned the rental, you can't make purchases without knowing the code. We can set that up where we have parental controls on, and it'll ask us to put this 4-digit code in to make that happen. And then there's other information on there depending, you know, on your speed. You can see, you'll probably want to put it on best quality. And if you've got PTCI's internet, you're going to need to at least have 20 meg, but you should be able to put it on best quality and have great internet access to stream on. It also has closed captioning information where you can set it up the way you would like as well. Information about your DVR that tells you how much is in use and what the capacity is. You can tell that we're right there at the edge of filling it all up that way because it comes with 50 hours as well. A couple of other apps that we want to take the time to show you too. ESPN. A couple of notable things about it. ESPN has a service called ESPN Plus. And ESPN Plus, you cannot get it through a cable subscription. You cannot get it through a satellite subscription. The only way that you can get ESPN Plus content is through their streaming app, okay? It's not available anywhere else. Now, what they're going to have on it, it's only $4.99 a month, okay? But what you get on it is you're going to get a lot of content that isn't available, that may be available once or twice on your regular cable, but they'll keep it in a library there, just like they've got 30 for 30 on there. Those are, the whole library is on demand on there. You do see some UFC competition. UFC signed a deal with ESPN this past year that all their pay-per-view events are available only through ESPN Plus. So you can get the pay-per-view events for the big fights that way. You mentioned 30 for 30. Also, if you're a Big 12 fan, well, by the way, even beyond those play-by-play, the pay-per-views, there is a ton of UFC content on here, whether it's previous matches or if it's shows about UFC. So if you're a UFC aficionado, boy, this is a great program for you. There's other content on here. If you're a Big 12 fan, there's a lot of soccer on here, but if you're a Big 12 fan, the Big 12 actually signed an agreement, and this school year they did have a lot of sporting events on ESPN Plus. Of the 10 schools in the Big 12, 8 of them have signed on to this ESPN Plus for what's called Big 12 Now. That's their third tier rights. The University of Texas has the Longhorn Network, so they're not on here very much. And the University of Oklahoma has a deal with Fox Sports. And so their content is available on the Fox Sports app. But the other 8 schools, there was football games this year, a couple of conference games that were even available, quite a few basketball games. Conference basketball games and non-conference games were available on ESPN Plus. And also a lot of the smaller sports, whether it's basketball, baseball, volleyball, anything that's out there, you can find a lot of those. There's also different coaches shows. Mike Gundy has his OSU Roundup on there. There's also, they did a documentary series following Les Miles, the new football coach at University of Kansas this past year. It was called Miles to Go, and trying to help build that program. So there's a lot of original content that isn't available anywhere else but on ESPN Plus. One of the other things you'll see on ESPN is if we go back to the mainframe, what you can do is you can also watch, if you subscribe to any of these cable replacement apps, whatever channels you have available on there, that content is available on here as well. And you will also be able to find any, like football season, you'd find ABC ball games on here too, because ABC and NBC are both under the same umbrella of Disney. So any of that content, what I like about that is, like if I'm watching a game on a Friday and you're watching an Amarillo station, you can be almost guaranteed that up in the upper right corner, you're going to see a weather map up there. And we cover such a large area that just because there's weather going on in our area doesn't mean it's anywhere near us. So I tend to like to watch ball games on here. And the same with the Fox app that we'll go and show you now too, is it's the same way. Fox Sports Go has the local channels. There's another one called just Fox Sports that has more of the national feed. On here you would find like Fox Sports Southwest, Fox Sports Oklahoma. So, the Oklahoma City Thunder games. You would find the Dallas Maverick games on here as well. You would also see, they've got different channels on here like FS Well, you see FS Oklahoma, FS Southwest up there, but you'll see FCS, which is Fox College Sports and things like that they'll have listed on here. But the University of Oklahoma, like we mentioned, you'll see from time to time, they may replay old ball games on here. They may also show Spotlight, like they have OU Spotlight or Sooner Spotlight that is kind of a locally produced show that shows different content that features athletics through the University of Oklahoma. And we mentioned Fox Sports. It has all the sports content from the national channels, like your Big Fox channel, your national feed. Like for us, it's Fox 14 out of Amarillo. If you go up here to TV schedule, sometimes it shows that one. Sometimes it will show another one. It does show Fox 14 right now, but also FS1, FS2. We've got this set up, I think, with YouTube TV, which also has the Big Ten Network, Fox Soccer, and Fox Deportes. So all those are, and if there's sports on those channels, you can go and watch it right now, as long as you show your subscription to it. You can search for different items there, but it's the same way. Just even like on Sunday when there's an NFL game on, you can watch it on here. You can watch it on Fox 14, or even the Thursday night games that are now on Fox as well. NBC Sports, same thing when it comes to Sunday night football, or they also have the Olympic Channel and NBC Golf. So it's got a lot of content with that as well. Especially during the Olympics, you can find tons of content that is available on their app if you're a big Olympics person. Of course, that's been postponed to 2021. But and also NBC does a lot of hockey coverage, so you've got a lot of that as well. But those are some of the sports apps that have a little bit of extra information. There's a lot of free apps out there as well. We'll go down here and show you Pandora. Some of you may have Pandora on your phone. Pandora is a free music app. You can also pay for a subscription where you don't have commercials and things like that. But you can not only just use that on your phone, but you can hook it up on your TV, and you can listen to music. If you're doing things around your home and just want some music on, you can turn it to your favorite Pandora channel. One of the free channels we typically focus on here too is the Roku channel. You don't have to pay anything for it. You bought a Roku stick, your access to the Roku channel is free of charge, okay? And what they're going to have is they're going to have movies and TV shows. You can see this Meet the Browns, 2008. So some of them are recently made. This one back in 1998. But all kinds of different movies. They've got different categories, like you can go here to kids and family movies, and it's going to list all of them together. So if you're trying to find something for the kids to watch, you can go in here and find it. Look, it's even got different age areas, different categories, whether it's superheroes, dinosaurs, video games, whatever they like to watch. There's going to be plenty of free content available for them there too. Continue watching. So if you are watching a series of shows on here, you can actually pause it, come back to it later, and watch it. It shows you content. Now, the content in here does not stay the same all the time. Some of it will rotate in and out every month, and there's all kinds of different categories. So this shows you what's new this month. You can scroll through and see different movies that have been recently made new on here. They do sometimes have free premium content, or you can sign up for a free trial. There is also live content, Weather Nation, which is, can be a free substitute for the Weather Channel. There's also some other live game shows, live movies. This is live news, Reuters and Newsmax, where Reuters would be probably a little more on the left, Newsmax more on the right, if you like certain kinds of things. of news a certain way. Different things like This Old House and USA Today. So there's all kinds of things like that. With everything going on in the world, they've got it broken down by categories. Also recently added TV, family movie night, adventure, and look, you can see old programming like the Batman series from back in the 60s, sitcoms, reality TV. They've got a list here of last chance to see it for free. So this is programming that's going away that you'll want to watch before it goes away. TV, family favorites, mysteries. There's all kinds of categories. There's typically even a Westerns one if you're somebody, you or somebody you know is really interested in the Western movies and things like that. You can find just about anything you want to watch on here. Carol Burnett show. How many people love, that old show? So there's just all kinds of good content on here. And like we said, the Roku channel is completely free. You don't have to pay anything for it. You just buy a Roku stick and it's got it already available to it. We'll go back, hit the home button here. I'm going to show you how to add channels. We'll go down here to streaming channels. Okay. It's got them listed here in different categories. Featured, 4K editor's pick, news and notable, recommended channels, and then search channels. And you can go in here and search for anything you want. Now you'll notice over there on the right there's a list. These are some of them we've looked up in the past. Here's one of them I like to show quite a bit. Friendly. Friendly is a $5.99 a month channel set for those who maybe are on a limited budget. It has the Hallmark channels plus movies and mysteries and drama. Those are also Hallmark channels. INSP, Up TV, the Game Show Network, Weather Channel, Outdoors, and more. So you can try it for 7 days for free, but even after that, like I said, it's $5.99 a month, and you can get some TV without paying too much. And you can also, if it doesn't work out for you after a month, you can always cancel it. Now here's how easy it is to add a channel. You'll notice it's highlighted where it says Add Channel. I hit OK. Okay, Friendly TV has been added to the end of your home. To move to it, highlight it and press OK. I'm going to go through it through the home button just so I can show you here. If I go to the bottom here, there it is. Okay. Now, if this is the way I want to watch TV, if this is the cable replacement I've decided I'm going to buy, I'm going to highlight that. I hit the little asterisk button, or some people call it on your landline telephone the star button. You'll see it gives me a couple of list of things. I can give feedback, check for updates on the app. I can remove this channel, I can move it, or I can rate it. We're going to move it, so I arrowed my way there, push OK. Now, you'll notice there's a white arrow here and one here. If I move up, now I can go any direction. I can go down, over, up. But I can take this, if this is what I'm going to use as my cable replacement, and it's what I'm going to watch the most, I can move it right here. And there it is. If I hit the home button, that's what my home page looks like now. Now, let's say I tried it for a month, didn't like it, so now I'm going to get rid of it. I hit the star button, go back to that same menu. I'm going to go to Remove Channel. And notice how it's got Cancel highlighted, and it says, are you sure you want to remove Friendly TV? I have to move up to it, then hit OK, and it will remove it. And you'll notice now I'm back to the way it looked before. Another thing you may want to look at is this Featured Free. You can go in here, and it's going to show you what programming is available for free, not just on that Roku channel, but other items as well, which you can look through and find different content that might be available for free. Latest news. If you're a news person, you can find out all kinds of different news channels, and a lot of these, they do have that live content available. Fandango, you can purchase movies there. Same with, this is just their TV show store as well. You can go in here. It does have all kinds of settings in here as well that you can go through. Do want to show you that you can set up a phone. Roku has an app, and same thing with Amazon Fire Stick. All of these really, they do have an app. Apple TV is the same way. One of the great things, maybe you're wondering, well, okay, went and bought a Roku stick, but we have 3 TVs in our house. Well, you are going to have to buy a Roku stick for each TV, okay? You're going to have to buy one of each of those for it. But what's great about it too is, let's say you bought, we mentioned YouTube TV at the beginning, and that comes with multiple streams. And when I say it comes with streams, I mean, like when you've had our cable service, you had a box on at your TV. That was, let's say you had, it comes with 2, and let's say you added another one and you had to pay for that third one. Well, the same thing comes with this. You're paying for those streams, and let's say whichever one you decide on is going to pay you for, has 3 of them. One of the great things about your streams is they're mobile, okay? So I can be on a tablet, or I can be on a laptop or a phone, and you'll see this bottom line here. Here's the Sling app, AT&T TV, YouTube TV, and Hulu. I can click on here on Hulu, and I can actually, my streams, instead of being tied to a box, they're now mobile, okay? So that's how that works. As that was coming up, we don't need to show you that, but you can literally watch live TV on there, but you can also watch your recordings and things like that. There are also, Roku has an app just as well as the others do. You can actually use this for your remote, okay? Or let's say you misplaced your remote, you can use your tablet or a phone with that app, and you can set it up for multiple TVs where you can go from room to room. But I can move that icon, the highlight on the screen like that with this, okay? Just like that. Click OK. It'll bring it on. So it's that simple. One of the other things that you can do that's really neat with a tablet or a phone is you've got your audio plugs down here. So you can have the audio come through the speakers in the bottom of this, or maybe you have some hearing issues. You can actually plug into here, okay, and put headphones on and listen to it that way as well. It also has a voice button on there where you can give voice command that way. So even if you lose your remote, you could still watch your TV using that remote. Now, wanted to check one more time, see if we've got any more questions out there. Doesn't look like it. Let me check here again. And I don't see any there. Emmanuel, I think I may have missed a slide or two. Could you put those up there and we can talk about that too? Yes. What speed do we have to have? Well, you can go to PTCI and kind of find that out. Like we mentioned, to stream TV, you're going to really have to have at least 20 meg. And if you'll go to our website and you look for this middle section that's got that rocket ship on there, and see where that arrow is pointed to Let's Get Started. It's got a questionnaire that's a whole 3 questions long. Now there are multiple answers, but what it's trying to do is figure out, okay, how do you use your internet? Because how you use your internet is going to tell you what speed you need to purchase, okay? If you're going to watch TV on it, like I said, a minimum of 20, but let's say you have multiple TVs that you're going to want to watch live at the same time. Well, you probably have to bump it up to 50 or 100. If you have a wireless security system at your house, that uses Wi-Fi. If you have a Ring doorbell where you can see and talk to a person that comes up to your door, that uses Wi-Fi, that uses your internet connection. If you have a Nest thermostat and you say you're on the road and you want to turn your air conditioning up a couple hours before you get home, well, that does that by using your wireless internet connection. So we use the internet sometimes more than we realize, but like I said, at the very most, like I said, it's a 3-question test. Go there, it's multiple answer, and it'll tell you what speed is best for you. And I can tell you our department looked that over. We had them scale it back some because we felt like maybe it was pushing people a little high. So this has been tested, and we believe it's fairly accurate. So when you're buying your internet, if you're bumping your internet speed up, we believe it's going to put you in an accurate spot to where you are as far as use. One of the other services that you may want to consider with this, PTCI has streaming care. You know, maybe this is the first time that you're going to stream and you don't feel very comfortable with this. Well, streaming care is a service that is meant just for you. When you call to set up streaming care and sign up for it, it's $3.50 a month. You do have to sign up for a year, but even at a year, it's just right at $43.50, so you're not talking about a lot of money. If you decided not to sign up for it and you needed the Bob Squad to come out, Bob Squad would be twice more than that for 1 hour. And the clock starts when they turn the key over at the office here and drive to your place. So chances are this would save you some money. Now, what do you get with that? As long as you go out and buy the devices, you go out and buy a Roku stick or an Amazon Fire Stick or multiple ones for each of your TV, you can, when you sign up for streaming care, you can ask for them to go ahead and set a time for them to come out, set up an appointment for them to come out and set you up. One of our guys or gals are going to come out and they're going to help set that streaming service up on your TV, okay? The only thing they're going to ask you to do is they'll have you put in your credit card information or debit card because you're going to have to be the one to do that. They'll help connect your streaming devices, and after that, you're going to have phone support that if you do have any problems, you call in and we will gladly help you with that, and we've got some knowledgeable people that can walk you through it. And if they are unable to solve your problem, we have in-home support from our PTCI local employees that can come out and help you take care of that. Couple of the other services you may want to consider that are very solid, our whole home Wi-Fi is at $9.95 a month, okay? With that, you get a top-notch router provided by PTCI, which means you don't have to go to Walmart to go buy one for your wireless internet. And by the way, you notice there wasn't an internet wire to this Roku stick, so you're going to have wireless access. Why that's important to do that is a lot of people don't realize if you go out and buy your own router, you have to update the firmware on a regular basis. And if you're not very internet savvy, it's going to make sense to let us do that because we can do that remotely because you're going to be using that over our network. So we can update that remotely. Now, what does updating the firmware do? The two main things it does is it keeps it safe. Your router is just a computer that does a specific type of job, and it can be hacked just like a computer or a tablet or a phone can. So it helps to keep it safe. And the other thing it does is it helps to smooth the road back out on your router. You know, you drive on a road and long enough and it's going to get some potholes and things like that, and that's what it does, is it kind of smooths over the potholes and takes care of that. There's also 24/7 tech support and free installation if you sign up for 1 year. Now, you may want to consider going one step further, which is Whole Home Wi-Fi Plus, which is everything that is a part of whole home Wi-Fi, okay? Plus, you get professionally managed Wi-Fi network, secure IT web security, anti-theft for phone and tablets, so you can not only protect your wireless internet, but you're going to protect those items that you have, not just your computer, but your phones and tablets and things like that. File hopper backup, so you basically have an off-site backup for that. And then also Password Genie, password manager. So if you have trouble remembering your passwords, Password Genie can be there to keep them in a secure place and keep that protected for you. So those are all great services that PTCI offers you, and you're going to get good local service that we're going to make sure that you're well taken care of by our employees. And we've really kind of reached the end of this. Don't look like we have any questions popping up. Maybe one here. Let's see. If my parents' three most important features are a guide, Oklahoma City Thunder basketball, Oklahoma City News Channel 9, what would you recommend? YouTube TV channel with Roku? I think YouTube TV is still in negotiations with Fox Sports, the Fox Sports local channel, so that may be a little tough. They may need to look at Hulu with live TV because they're the ones who have the FS Southwest and FS Oklahoma right now. That may change in the future. Hopefully it will. So they may consider that. That's going to have the locals. And then if they want that News Channel 9 out of Oklahoma City, like we showed you here, they really need to go and pull down the app because unless they live over in Laverne, they're not going to be able to get it on that. But if they pull up that app, they'll be able to get all the news content from News Channel 9. So hopefully that'll help answer your question. And I don't see any more there. Don't see any here on Facebook Live either. Once again, I am Jason. I appreciate you joining us on this live stream. And if you do have any questions, feel free to call into PTCI. And once again, my name is Jason. If you do have any questions and I'm available, I will be more than happy to try to help you out. And so that's it. We appreciate you. Make sure, find your channels. Go to thestreamable.com and suppose.tv. See which one of these services will work best for you. Thanks again.